You're listening to the Call Kent podcast, where Kent C. Dodds answers questions and gives insights to software engineers like you. Now, let's hear the call.
Hi Kent, I'm Shyam from Nepal. I've been working as an automation QA engineer for almost 6 years now. Prior to that, when I started my career as a manual QA, I went through a phase of chronic imposter syndrome. Most of my friends were developers and I usually felt out of place whenever we'd talk about work. I found my work to be really mundane and boring. Even though I did my undergraduate in computer engineering, I always felt that maybe I didn't have it in me to code for a living. All of that changed when I shifted my career to be an automation engineer. I discovered a new love for technology and programming, which felt very enriching and powerful. I've had so much fun writing test frameworks and test scripts, and it has really helped me find my hidden love for tech. I was also fortunate enough to work on adding a few pages to the existing QA dashboard, which was a basic web app developed in Ember.js. Also, I dabbled a little with developing Alexa skills, and although it was a pretty simple app, I was personally really proud that I could stitch together a lot of previously unknown tech to produce a working version of the app in production. It was a proud moment for me, and I thought I'd found a purpose. However, my role still is that of a QA, and I don't get much time to explore the world of development. So, after 10 years of my professional journey, I think I have come to a realization, and that is, what if I change my path to be a full time developer? I'm doing just fine in my current role. I know that the QA world is very vast and I have a lot to explore, but this burning desire to become a developer, to be a creator of something, to add value to someone's life by solving their problems has made me go through many sleepless nights. I've weighed in all of my options, considered my financial situation and savings, and I've decided to quit my current job. I can easily sustain myself and my family for another 6 months without any pay. I've recently even subscribed to the front end master's course. I hope to dedicate my time to learning everything that will make me a well rounded developer. However, I'm a bit scared too. I'm 35 now, I'm married, and I have a kid. My family fully supports my decision, but what I fear the most is the uncertainty. I sometimes feel that I'm on a journey without any map. Can you please suggest me how I should plan out so that I can make the most out of these 6 months? Thank you, have a great day.
And that was the call. Here's what Kent had to say.
Hey, Sham, thank you so much for the question and trusting me with this. This is very deep and a very important question. And because I have, I don't know you on a personal level, I'm a little worried that some of my advice may not be very, well, you should just take all my advice with a grain of salt. Always about everything, but especially this. So I think that it's really awesome that you have been very thoughtful about the direction that you want to take your life rather than just continuing day in and day out doing the same old thing. I think that's the sort of thing that will really help you make sure that you stay ahead of whatever changes come into our industry in the future. So yeah, interestingly, I actually also started as a QA engineer just for a couple months, and then I switched to a dev. I can relate to that burning desire that you have to create something. It's definitely something that I really appreciate about being a web developer, is being able to create something. You mentioned in your text description of this, you said that some people say it's too late to be a developer now. I strongly disagree with those people. And I just gesturing at the many people that I know that made transitions into web development well after they were 35. So I also appreciate that you're married and have a kid, and the nervous feeling that you have in taking this leap. I think that it's very good that your family is supportive of this, and I would strongly advise that you continue to check in with those that you're responsible for that income to make sure that they are still supportive because they have a vested interest in your success, and you have a commitment to them. So keep that communication line open. Okay, so as far as the specific advice that I would give to you, it's pretty much the same sort of advice I give to anybody who wants to improve their standing in the career or get into tech. And that is, I reference this blog post that I have called How to Get Experience as a Software Engineer. I think that's what it's called. I'll link to it in the description. But the short version of that is you get experience by having experiences. And so what I would suggest is, since you've already been doing some development, you should have some pretty good, like a good idea of some of the basics. And so the idea here is that you want to have many varied experiences. Now, that doesn't mean that you should just be a generalist. In fact, I think at the very beginning, it is extremely difficult to be a useful contributor to a project if you are a generalist. It's much more useful to go really deep on something that is highly needed. And then over time, as you develop a lot of experience, then you can become more general and generally useful in a lot of different areas. So at the beginning, I strongly advise diving really deep into something that's really needed. And that second piece is really important too. You don't want to dive really deep into something that people need every now and then necessarily. I mean, there are consultants who are really, really good at setting up AWS S3 buckets or something, I suppose. And so they can just go around and selling that. But I struggle to envision somebody who would be very successful doing something like that. So anyway, you want to dive really deep into something that people really need. And so I'm beating around the bush a little bit, but I would say that's React. If you get really good at React, there are a lot of jobs for people learning React. I know that it's really popular to jump into one of these hot new tech frameworks like Svelte or Quick or Solid Start, and they are very interesting, but they just are not. There are not as many jobs available, and you will find it much easier to find work as a React developer. So that would be, and I should say more generally, if you look around at the companies that you might be interested in working at, just see what technologies they use. It could be that you don't want to use React and you prefer doing something more traditional server-side technology or something. And if that's the case, then learning Ruby on Rails or Laravel or something like that could be really useful. So look at the companies where you'd want to work in the positions that you'd want to work in, and focus your efforts on filling up your level of experience in the things that they have in their job descriptions, especially the things that are shared across those job descriptions. And my guess is that for a lot of those things, it will be React. So that would be something. I do have a free course on Egghead called The Beginner's Guide to React that I will link to as well. It's a very good course, and still, it's been a couple of years, but it's still extremely applicable. React has not changed a lot. So yeah, give that a look. If you want to really dive deep, then I do have purchase power parity support on epicreact.dev, which will go really, really deep into React. But it is a premium course, so I can understand if you don't want to cut into your 6 month savings as much for that. So the Epic Epic React is really good. All of the material is free and open source online as well. So if you want to go to to my GitHub, then you'll find all of the Epic React repos there. And you can go through it at your own pace. The only thing you miss out on is the videos, which is worth what I charge. But that hopefully the reason I do this as open source is so that people like you can still benefit from it, and I can still keep it sustainable from the people who have bosses that can pay for the videos and stuff like that. So yeah, beginner's guide, Epic React, and then just like I said at the beginning, the way you get experience is by having experiences. So just spending a ton of time building with the tools that you're learning. And on top of that, if I were in your position, I would definitely be applying to work at companies a lot. Get a lot of practice interviewing. And you never know, like maybe one of the first ones you apply to can see your potential and will hire you a lot earlier. So you don't have to, I would strongly advise against waiting until the last couple months of your 6 months period now before you actually start applying to work. I would 100% start now. And also, like another reason for that is because sometimes these companies take a while to actually do the hiring process. And so that can be a real pain, a huge problem. And so, yeah, you want to start applying as soon as possible. And I know that it can be a little nerve wracking, and you'll look at those job descriptions and think, oh man, I don't know any of this stuff. But you'd be surprised that like a lot of those job descriptions are written by people who don't actually know what the job needs. And they're just recruiters who are like, yeah, let's just grab a couple buzzwords and we'll use that. So yeah, you'd be surprised the level of contribution you can make already in lots of these positions. Now, I think I should add to that, you don't want to be dishonest about your skill level or your abilities. So definitely be clear about that in your resume and things. But don't be afraid to apply to companies that have job descriptions that don't really fit you. That's up for them to decide if what they see in your resume will fit the position that they're hiring for. So that is just amazing what you're trying to do. I really hope that you're successful in doing that. And I wish you the very best of luck. Yeah, you keep taking care of your family there. Have a good, really good day. And yeah, good luck with everything. Let me know how it goes. Bye.
This has been the Call Kent podcast. Learn more about Kent at kentcdodds.com and get your own questions answered at kentcdodds.com/calls.